Oh, there we are. All right, welcome guys to another episode live here on YouTube, broadcasting from outside in South Florida. It was about 92 degrees Fahrenheit today. Right now, it's probably around 83 degrees Fahrenheit, light ocean breeze, and it's a beautiful evening backwoods. Good to see you, brother. Good to have you here, man. And it was another great day. All the snowbirds. It's as I make this, it's May 29th, 2019, and all the snowbirds have pretty much migrated back up to the northern states. Little fiery one, good to see you. And so it's not really that crowded anymore in Florida, even in the touristy areas. The big cities, like Miami, downtown Miami, that's always going to be crowded, because that's an all year round metropolitan hub for exports, imports, immigration, commerce, business. Anytime you have like a big city, it's always going to be crowded because it's a place of business. It's a hub, a transportation hub. It's a variety of things. But Florida itself, in general speaking terms, is it overcrowded? I wanted to talk on that tonight because many times there is a spirit of entitlement for those who have been in Florida for a few years or who were born here. And there's also a human nature emotional reaction to protect something that you enjoy and not want other people to share it. Human nature is to hoard something good and not want to share it. But people with good character, the right people you want to be around in life share. They share their knowledge. They share ways to do things because they don't want to just hoard everything to themselves. People of success, true success, they realize that there is enough to go around for everyone. And what you realize too, when you become successful and however you want to define it, is that even when you give someone, the roadmap to success, very few people will go the extra mile. And so there was a quote that was said that go the extra mile, it's always the road less traveled. And the extra mile is the road less traveled because even if you give someone the ingredients to success, most people won't show up consistently. I often talk about on this channel. The biggest part of success is showing up, waking up every day and doing what you need to do to live a productive, positive life. And you can I've seen people squander inheritance. I've seen people with good health complain. I've seen people in all different walks of life being given a lot of opportunities but not capitalize off them. So it's not just, you don't have to worry about something magical being overcrowded, whether it's the state of Florida, whether it's your information that you have to share. You don't have to worry about something not being there if you share it, because the bottom line is the majority of people, human nature, just like human nature is jealous and envious, and just like human nature doesn't want to share things, the majority of human nature is laziness. And most people will daydream about moving to Florida. They won't actually do it. And most people who will come here, they'll complain. Right now it's the summertime. It's hot as hell during the day. People would complain. That's why most people don't live here all year round. And even if they do live here all year round, they may have to travel to a congested area. And as soon as it gets congested, they say, oh, this isn't good. I'd rather go back up north. And then they go back up north and they realize it's crowded there. And then they just go from misery to misery because the success is the road less traveled. And people are complainers, they're unthankful, they're not proactive. The average person, or a certain segment of people. But very few people, I would say the average person kind of this like pre-selected, goes upon their pre-selected life. They're not going to change the state they live in. They're not going to change their way they look at life, their health. They're not going to grow and evolve. They're going to kind of stay in the same rut and just kind of like be there their entire life. I remember Chris Rock said one time on a stand-up comedian act, he said he went to a lot of different schools coming up, some very wealthy school systems, some very poor, and said what he learned was there really wasn't a big difference as far as the averages. He said what he really learned in school was the majority of people are like C students. There's some A students and there's some F students, but the majority of people kind of just like in the middle. And so you have the masses, which are just kind of plugging along in life with their pre-selected life, and living average. I live kind of like abnormal, right? Because I live such a minimalistic life, and the different things I've done, losing a tremendous amount of weight, 200 pounds. And so different things I've done doesn't make me better, but it's made me beat the averages. And what I learned, when you beat the averages, you have to be intense. You and you realize that even when you get the information you need, okay, you get the data, and you get everything you need to know to do something, it's still a matter of you doing it. And most people are not doers, okay? They're talkers, they're complainers. And most people, they, and even, like I said, there's just some bad people out there that don't want to share information. They don't want to share a beautiful state. They don't want to share anything. And to me, those are below average. They're bad character people. And they're worrying about something, but they don't have anything to worry about, because they're going to spend most of their life in their house. They're going to spend most of their life living a below average life with a below average mindset, with below average friends. And because they're already upset about something that's not even fact. They live in fear, they live in hate, and that's the way they have chosen to live, because it's a choice, guys. There's some things in life you don't choose, you don't control, but you have to learn as an adult. You start taking control of your life and how you look at everything, from your food choices to your living choices to your job choices. You take control of certain things you have no control over, okay? I'm always going to have a wide ass, guys. Look, even when I was down to 150 pounds, my frame was always wide, okay? I often talk about get off your fat ass. And what that means is, when I say get off your fat ass, I'm not talking about literally, even though sometimes I am. I'm talking about a mind that your brain is sitting on a recliner all day. And you're too old to do something, because even today, you were younger today than you will be tomorrow, and you didn't do anything. From now on, I may start putting a notation in all my videos, including my live feeds, and you can't leave a comment or you'll get blocked. You'll get blocked if you don't leave in the comment one positive thing you did today that pushed you forward towards your dream. I may start blocking anyone that doesn't. They can ask me anything they want, but if they don't put one thing they did today to push them closer to their dream, they can't leave a comment, because they're just wasting time, and they're too old to do anything, because today is the youngest you'll ever be. It doesn't matter if you're 12 or 25 or 52. Today is the youngest you'll ever be. And I wanted to touch on, is Florida overcrowded, because someone left a negative tone comment, and entitled low character, unwilling to share mindset of, oh, don't tell everybody about Florida because it's going to get too crowded. It's never going to get too crowded, guys, because most people ain't going to do shit with their life. Just like that person who left a comment, they ain't going to do nothing with their life. Even if they're in Florida, they ain't doing nothing. A lot of miserable people in Florida too. Now, not as many as New Jersey, I don't think. Only because I stay in good areas. Only because I stay around good people. There's plenty of nasty people in Florida. Come on, guys. What are you, an idiot? Get off your fat ass in your mind. Get your mind off your recliner. You got a recliner for your mind, and most people, it stays there. How do you get off? Go for a walk. Start there. Start there. I guarantee you it's not crowded walking at night. I guarantee you. And so those are my thoughts tonight on this live feed. I appreciate if you click that thumbs up button. I appreciate if you share the video. And I appreciate when you leave a comment, you tell me one thing you did today that pushed you closer to your dream. And if you have nothing to share, tread lightly, because I'm quick to block people. Why? Just because I really don't, I like to be by myself, period. Okay, all right, let's see what the live comments got to say. Backwoods first. Little Fiery One. Shout out to Idaho, the beautiful Little Fiery One, who's going to hook up with XB Jeffy. They may go backpacking together, and I'm not mad at that, because whatever it takes to get out of Idaho. Hey, look, I told you guys, look, if I lived somewhere and I needed to marry Donald Trump for my citizenship, I may do it. Backwoods, what's up, bro? I love to drive. Hey, I love to drive. Thank you again for your love and support. Backwoods. Good to see you live, brother. It's good to have you. You're a positive person. I like positive people around me. I don't like negative people around me. I only like positive people around me, and that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be until the Lord calls me home. Why? Because I've been around negative people. And what I could tell you is it's a complete disaster. And I refuse to go backwards in life. I refuse to be around people that have a fat ass. And when I say fat ass, I'm not meaning literally, okay? Because I have a wide ass. I'm talking about people who have a mind that sits on the recliner all day, okay? Now, that's what I'm talking about. All right, let's stay positive. And then he goes, Will be, that's my brother, looking good, brother. Well, I appreciate the compliment, man. A compliment's a blessing, and I'll say thank you. I appreciate that. Franco's property maintenance. Oh my God. Well, love to you, Franco. Shout out to Julio Franco, the pitcher for the Mets back in the day. And what I could tell you is this: I saw the word property and I saw the word maintenance. I wanted to throw up. But brother, I love you if you're an investment guy or if you're into maintenance. And what I could tell you, man, is property and maintenance make me throw up. That's why I live a minimalistic life. I never want to clean a toilet bowl. I never want to use a pair of channel locks. A pair of channel locks to me makes me want to regurgitate. Now, I thank God for I'm able to use channel locks, and I know what pliers are, I know what wire strippers are. I thank God that I have the ability to. But what I could tell you is when I sold my stuff, I threw all my tools out too. I gave them away. I gave my tools away, guys. Because look, if I really need to use the tools again, you know what I could do? I go to Walmart. I could buy a bag of tools for like, under $50, guys. Some of you guys hold on to tools like girls hold on to old clothes. You're never going to use those tools, guys. And if you are, there's always a Walmart. A guy told me one time when I was getting into the electrical trade, he said, Sam, 90% of jobs you can do with a pair of pliers, a screwdriver, and a hammer. He goes, 90%. He goes, a lot of all those tools are waste. And it's just like the average person. 80% of people's belongings are waste. People only use 20% of what they have. 20% of what's in your closet is what you use. 20% of a person's square footage in their house is what they use. 80% of what you own, whether it's the square footage of your house or whether it's your tools or your clothes, 80% is waste. So how do you downsize? You get 3 mil contractor grade trash bags and you throw everything out. And the 20% that you're going to need, you shop at Walmart. All right, let's stay positive. Jacob, good to see you, brother. Hey, Sammy, how you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I feel positive. I feel thankful. I'm making the most of my day. And what I could tell you is you will never be younger than you are today. Jacob, how old are you? Guess what? You're never going to be as young as you were today. Doesn't matter if you're 90 or 9. Every day you get older and you can never get time back. And so if you're not making steps every day to do what you need to do, it don't matter if Florida's going to be overcrowded. You're never going to be here. You're always going to do whatever you're doing. Now let's continue to read his comment. He goes, I'm good, brother. Work was good. You showed up. That's 90% success. Still working my level 3. Brother, even if you work level 3 for the rest of the year, the rest of your life, you won. You know why you won? Because you showed up. And brother, you're going to be better than 80% of the workforce. Because again, the road of success, the extra mile is the road less traveled. And what I can tell you is it's never going to be crowded. Jacob, if you show up every day, you're always going to be able to get a job because most people won't show up every day for a year straight. So just keep doing you, brother. I'm very proud of you. Will be. What kind of person sets a notification to thumbs down someone? A miserable human being. Well, you nailed it. And there's no excuse for it. I'm not going to make an excuse for someone with that type of mindset because they're making a conscious decision. Just like I would never make an excuse for someone doing a mass shooting. I don't care if you have a mental disability or not. You're a disgrace. You should be locked up. You should have your rights taken away from you. And that's how I feel. And I don't care. No, it is what it is. There's no excuse for it. Backwoods, real talk, Sammy. I'm giving it to you real. Okay. Some people don't like me because I give it to it real. Even though I voted for Hillary, I'm more like Donald Trump than you think. And what I can tell you is the people who thumbs down, they voted for Trump, but they don't realize I'm Trump that voted for Hillary. So let's stay positive. Vanomatic, Tallahassee checking. Good to see you. Jacob, good topic. Getting your mind off the couch. Yeah, a lot of people on that recliner mentally. Good job. Little fiery one. Today, after recommitting myself to staying beautiful, stay home, and staying in the beautiful state of Idaho, most people will recommit because most people will never change states. And there's nothing wrong with that if you enjoy it. Now, she gives the party like a rock star emoji, then a orange heart, and then 2 fire emojis. And then she goes, I made the decision not to yell at my coworkers. That's a positive decision. Thus allowing me to keep my job. Another positive decision because you always need a job. Save money dreams. Well, little fiery one, you're a smart woman and a real recognized real. And what I could tell you is whatever you want to do in life, whether you want to stay in Idaho or whether you want to get in XB Jeffy's car and go to California, I believe in you. Why? Because you have the right mindset. You don't have a fat ass. Now, you may have a fat ass literally, but your mind is very much in shape. And I think as long as you can do that, you can get your body in shape, you can get your life in shape. But if your mind is out of shape, you ain't going to do nothing but set a notification that thumbs down. So let's stay positive. Jaded. Life is awesome, y'all. Well, it's awesome when it's good. Look, if your health gets worse enough, you'll curse this life. You can be broken. All of us can be broken. Job was broken. So, but when you get a good day, you take it. Okay, but you don't start to get boastful, because let me tell you something. I know people going through serious sickness, and life isn't all good. And I know people, look, you can be making good money and then you can go to making nothing. Let me tell you something. Life can get hard enough for any of us. And so it's the same type of people who say life is good, life is magical, and I watch them get broken. Any of us can get broken, just like the same people that say, "Oh, you're not too old," and their fat ass, literally their mind has a fat ass, and they're going to be miserable their whole life. They're never going to change their house. They're never going to change their relationship. They're never going to get divorced. They're never going to move on with their life, because they want to justify their complacent existence, and they want to justify this world, but they're going to die, and they're going to die probably in the same spot they are right now. And that's fine with me. You can stay on that recliner. I'm not going to be like you, and I don't need your approval. Good job. I love to drive. I took control of my life by setting a healthy boundary for myself. Good job. Against the guy I dated unhappily for years. Good job. I love to drive. There's the top two causes of stress. Number one is relationships, not money. Number two is money. The number one thing that causes stress is relationships. And that's why I tell you, protect your energy. If someone doesn't leave you a positive comment, just block them. You don't need them. You don't need no one's approval. People are a dime a dozen, guys. And so you meet a good person, you know it right away. And you're never going to fight a good person. A good person and you are always going to vibe. Someone who's suspect, you're never going to vibe. You can bend over backwards to please them. You know what you're doing? When you bend over backwards to please an unthankful person, you know what they do? They ram it right up your ass. That's what they do. And so that's why I don't even bother. I used to try to really justify and try to make everyone happy, because I really try to be like extra compassionate. And then I say, you know what, these fucking people will take you for a ride, man. And so you know what I said? Look, I'm not gonna hurt anyone, but you're out of your mind if you think that, like the tail's gonna wag the dog. Because what happens is you're gonna end up in a crappy place. They're already in a crappy place. They're just miserable waiting for you to join them. And you'll never leave New Jersey. So let's continue to read I Love to Drive. He broke up with me. Best thing ever happened to you. Due to my boundary. That's fine with me. And I feel relieved because of it. Yeah, good job. I love to drive. You keep doing those dancing emojis. Let me tell you something. I cut off my father because he kept playing games. And I'll cut off my father, my mother, a lover, anyone. Why? Because look, anyone who's unhealthy and still playing games with you, peace emoji. You got to move forward with your life. Good job, Jacob. I thank you, Sammy. I thank you. And I agree. One person who started a month ago decided to put their 2 weeks notice in today. I'm surprised they even did that. Most people don't even put their 2 week notice in. I almost made that mistake early on in my career, and an older guy pulled me aside and said, Sam, you're a hard worker. He goes, don't ruin your job references by leaving early. He goes, wait the 2 weeks. He goes, HR notes that, and if you ever need this job for a job reference, if you don't give your 2 weeks notice, that's not going to look good. And I learned my lesson. I didn't do it. I stayed for the 2 weeks. So always want to give your 2 weeks notice, guys. Unless you get molested by some big girl or some big guy. And what I could tell you is, give your 2 weeks notice. Good job. Cameron, what's up, Sam? What's going on, brother? All right, good, man. All I got to do is say, hey, look, you can't leave a comment until you tell me one positive thing you did today to push forward in your life. And I guarantee the comment section will dry up. Tony, Sam, what I did today was buy a white cargo van. All right, well, you just increased your expenses. Let's continue to read. Tinted the windows, and as we speak, I'm calling shipping company for pricing to Hawaii. Okay. I'll bet the cost of living van life in paradise. Well, brother, I'm happy you did that. I hope that you continue to push forward. I hope you continue to liquidate, and I hope that you have visited Hawaii at least once, because in my opinion, one is thank you for sharing. I want the best for you, but one is I would have called the shipping company first before I bought the van. Okay, because like today I looked at a home base with an RV on it, and today I called a towing company. I didn't even put a bid in on property. I don't think I will. But I called a towing company to get a bid on what the price would be to move that RV off the lot if a hurricane came. You want to get that bid, and you want to get those prices before you purchase something, because now you have a fixed recurring expense as a car. Even if it's paid off for, it's always got maintenance, you always got gas, you always got car insurance. It's a fixed recurring cost. And so you want to get every other associated cost before you buy something. And you want to downsize before you buy everything, and you want to have a job already lined up in Hawaii. At least that's my way of thinking. It doesn't mean my way of thinking applies to everyone. But one is, again, I don't want to rain on your parade, because I know I just did a little bit, but I also want to share my life experience. But I want to say that thank you for sharing. Continue to push forward. You define your own life. Don't let me define your life for you. And thank you for sharing. Little fiery wants to put my name in all caps. I'm not mad at that. You said it perfect. Well, thank you. The MILFs love me because I know how to talk. Hey, look, I may have a wide ass, guys, but I know how to talk to these MILFs. And what I could tell you is, you guys are way behind the eight ball on that. And then he goes, some people are energy vampires, total disasters. I totally agree, and will suck the life right out of you. I totally agree. That's usually why the MILFs call me, because their boyfriend, their ex-husband, total energy vampire. Okay, he may be a tall guy with a nice ass, but he's got a Toyota Tacoma. He's got a pair of channel locks, but he's got no capacity to communicate. And what I could tell you is, yeah, I got the capacity to communicate, but I'm not your therapist. And so I play the game for a little bit, and then when I stop giving them free therapy, then they get upset, and I don't care. All right, let's take positive. And then she goes, and we'll suck the life right out of you without you know, it's a good job. Journey with Jordan, also positive, brother, been very nice to me. I appreciate you, brother. Shout out to Tennessee, and shout out to the chair that just fell down up the street. That's all right. We go positive. We stay forward. Let's continue to read Journey with Jordan. That's my guy. Coming in hot, yeah, with the Florida earbuds. Yeah, thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. 95 degrees, stay in Tennessee. I'm not mad at you. Hope you are having a good week, brother. I hope you are too. Very proud of you. How are you doing? Did you get out of the hotel room? Journey with Jordan has been living in this vehicle, I think, for 2 months. Parked out Dave Ramsey's parking lot. He wants to go to either South Korea or another foreign country to be a teacher. But he got sick, or he needed to watch some porn and turn the music up, so he checked into a hotel room a couple days ago. Are you still in the hotel room, or are you back on the street? What I can tell you is I check into campgrounds. Like, once in a while, if I get real sick, I have checked into a hotel room, very rarely. But you don't want to stay in those comforts too long, because you want to stay out on the road. If not, it's hard to transition back and forth. So take a break when you need to, but also if you want to live this mobile lifestyle, you got to kind of actively be out there. And that was like the other comment. The person was like, Florida's going to be overcrowded. You're presenting this lifestyle like very nice. I said, look, most people, even if they do live, like me, mobile nomad, they won't sustain it. It's just not a sustainable lifestyle. It's a transitional lifestyle to do something you want, to move to a different country, move to a different state. Even me, I got into the purpose of it was just to move to Florida, not to do this forever. And so I just keep doing it now because thank Jacob, brother. I appreciate that super chat. Here's some money for the water phone. Well, brother, damn it, Jacob, hydration break to you, and I appreciate that. Let's take a hydration break. Thank you, Jacob. God bless you, brother. You keep showing up, man. But this life, this mobile life, is a transitional lifestyle. Okay, it's not sustainable for most people long term. So I think, again, most people will do it for a year or less. Doesn't mean you can't be above average or beat the odds and do it for more. I've done it for 2 years and counting. But I'm just trying to tell you, from someone who's doing it, it starts to wear on you. There's a lot of movement. It's for the younger person, the more healthier person. And it's just something to consider. And that's why, like, I don't worry, like, if I share certain insights, like, everyone will do it. They may start to do it, but they won't sustain it. And that's, and it's everything in life, and that's why you can't be scared to share success or share information, because there's always enough to go around for everyone. But it's the person who thinks like there isn't. To me, it's just a bad character person, again, because it's like, if you have that type of mindset where you're like, you scared other people are going to take your blessing, you're not my type of person, man. Like, I remember someone said one time, and it always stuck with me, like, no one can take what God has for you. And I'm not religious like I used to be at all anymore. I was never really, but I went on a deep spiritual journey. But I totally believe in that. I totally believe that no one can take what God has for you. And so, like, if you're worried about someone else taking something, you don't have any faith, and it's like, and I believe in faith, not religion, but faith. And so if you don't have any faith that, you know what I mean, like, what's meant for you will be for you as long as you do the work, because faith without works is dead. Like, me and you are never going to vibe. And we're not going to see the world the same way. And that's why, like, I don't even bother to waste time with you. All right, let's stay positive. Thank you again, Jacob. Cameron, this is my second week without energy drinks. Good job. I feel great. Well, brother, energy drinks are a complete good job. A complete sugar high crash, and it's an unsustainable, unhealthy lifestyle. So good job getting rid of those energy drinks. They're caffeine. The caffeine is like totally concentrated. It's like going to GNC to get a protein shake. It's unregulated by the FDA. It causes your body to spike certain levels, whether it's caffeine, sugar, whatever, and then you crash. And it's unhealthy for your body to like spike and crash. It's not sustainable. And it causes havoc, like, on your liver and on your internal organs that have to filter all that toxins, because they're concentrated on natural toxins. Now, again, it's not about being perfect, because we all have different indulgences. And as I've started to, once I lost 200 pounds and I like stayed at like anorexia level, basically, for like a couple years. Not, I was above anorexia because I knew the lowest I can go and I stayed there, but I was definitely disciplined. I allowed myself to get back up only to make life sustainable and somewhat enjoyable. Because if you're totally chiseled, if you totally like have no indulgence, life isn't enjoy life. You don't enjoy life as much. But if in the beginning of your journey, weight loss, health wise, whatever, like you allow yourself to have indulgences, you're not going to make it, because in the beginning you have to get intense, you have to sustain it off, and I'm talking about years. And if you don't do that, what you're going to find is like, the same thing like I did when I was like, initially I'll stop smoking cigarettes. I said, well, I'll just smoke cigarettes on the weekend. Then I'll just do black and milds. But you just got to cut all that shit out, and you got to get intense, and you got to throw them out and then go in the garbage and smoke a bud hour later, and then just keep throwing them out until the fact you just get rid of it. There's some toxins that you just don't want in your body. And you do, your taste buds and your lifestyle, after a long enough period of time, it reprograms itself. Like I remember there was a season of my life when I was quitting cigarettes and alcohol. I never had a problem with alcohol, like as far as like being alcoholic. Cigarettes, I could definitely say I was addicted. Even weed was like on an addiction level almost. And this one was when I was very young, I'm talking about early 20s. And I remember saying, I don't even want to quit because I can't vision my life without having it. I can't vision myself like on the weekend not having a cigarette, not having a beer. I can't vision myself not having coffee and a cigarette. And so it's like, it was hard for me to commit to quitting because I really didn't want to quit. But what I could tell you is eventually I just wanted to be healthy more than I wanted to continue to smoke or drink or whatever. And it was the desire to want to be different and the intensity to just keep trying and failing and keep trying and failing and separating myself from certain things and environments and friends that eventually I just persevered. Now I can't even stand the smell of cigarettes. Like someone smokes by me, I can't stand it. Same thing, like even now, like if I do eat like something sugary or real fatty, like my body, like I immediately feel like my body doesn't enjoy it. Like, I used to like not even enjoy any type of healthy food, but it's like the opposite now. And so your body, after a period of time, it retrains itself. And, that's why you really have to start maybe small, but then after you start, then you have to really get some intensity and then get intense for a while. And then you can start to dial it back and get sustainable. But it's kind of like, you really have to change your trajectory or else, you don't really go forward. Backwoods, I just found a new camper that's pretty cool. Okay. It's called Overkill Campers, and they are based out of Bend, Oregon. Okay. It's a tow behind kind of setup, but same unique as well as built strong. Well, thank you, brother, for sharing. Yeah, the only problem with small campers, I looked at them, is that you have to have a tow vehicle, and then you have to tow something, and then you have to park it somewhere. And parking is your biggest problem. When you get an RV, even if it's a small little cute scamp or something, where are you going to park it? Parking is your biggest problem. So it's not a matter, sometimes it's just, and that's why I like RVs. I'm not against them, but unless you're going to stay at a campground all the time, or you're going to have a place to park them, living a nomad lifestyle it's going to make it harder. You're going to have some more amenities, air conditioning, kitchen, or whatever, but you're going to have more problem parking, and your costs are going to increase, your aggravation, your maintenance. Like my man Julio Franco, his maintenance, he's like, the maintenance guy's got to come take care of it. I'm not against it. I am looking at a home base with one. But it would be stationary. And the only reason I would look at it is because I'm getting a home base with it, if I ever do that option. But I may just, in one sense, I said to myself, I have the simplest, easiest, cheapest way is what I'm doing right now, is just have a vehicle. If you need to rest, go to campgrounds, go to a hotel even, for a period of time, not forever, because then won't be cost effective. And, just float around. If you have the ability to work remotely, or any type of independent way. And now with DoorDash and the internet and technology jobs, I mean, there's a lot more. It's not that easy, but still a lot more. So when you're downsizing, start as simple as possible and stay there for a while. And then after a period of time, if you're really going to sustain this lifestyle, then you can look at like an RV or a bigger vehicle or something. But, don't forget, like, again, this lifestyle is a transitional lifestyle for most people, not a sustainable lifestyle. So if eventually you're going to get a home base, or eventually you're going to do something, you don't want to overinvest in this lifestyle. But again, money is meant to be used and enjoyed, not to worship. So again, if you want to, there's no judgment. again, some people get in this lifestyle so they could take more risk in investments or in business, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people do it so they can spend $800 in prostitutes, like our guy 8833, and I'm not mad at them. So whatever you want to do, I'm not mad at it. I'm just trying to say, for you, everyone's different. Like my man Tony's got his own plan. You should have some idea on what you want to accomplish with your lifestyle, so that you have something to measure it against. And so that, not that you always reach your goal, but I always say the importance of a goal is you want to aim for the moon. Even if you miss, you're amongst the stars. You're going to fail, and it's painful and it sucks. But what I can tell you in life, whether it was health, business, career, I failed a lot. But having a goal always took me further than if I had no goal. When you have no goal, you're a fat ass. And I'm not talking literally, but a lot of times I am. But I'm talking about what your mind is sitting on a recliner, and you have no direction. So even if you set a direction and you fail, you're usually going to end up farther than if you did nothing. Okay? So, like, even if you downsize your life, you lived this lifestyle and you went back, if you got rid of a lot of your stuff, that's a win. And maybe you look at life differently now. Now you're not an acquiring maniac. Because even when I had a house and a conforming life, I was very much a consumer, into consumerism, with clothes, with stuff, with tools. Not big time, but enough to be trapped in a conforming life. And so now, even if I go back to a home base, right? Because right now, I went from like a conforming life and I went to a very extreme minimalistic life. So right now, even if I go back to like a small home base, which I'm still not sold on, but if I did, it's at a very smaller scale. And it's very much with a different mindset, right? Than I had before I lived this different life. And that's the idea of having a goal, is because, even if, well, for me, the goal was always just to come to Florida and then even to get a home base. The goal was not to travel the country. If you look at my early videos, you'll see it. I got a whole playlist dedicated to the nomad life. And pretty much the first video, I said my whole purpose is to downsize my life, live more simple so I can move to Florida and cut my bills in half. And what I found was the nomad life, the vehicle living, the car living, was a transitional lifestyle that allowed me not to commit to New Jersey, because at that time I still had a static job in New Jersey and I couldn't just come to Florida and do it responsibly. So I looked at that and I stayed in New Jersey for 2 years living in my car as a transitional thing to get me to Florida. And then once I got to Florida, then I was going to make an evaluation on buying a property again. Okay, so now I've been in Florida for about a year now. And so, but for 2 years, I was just static in New Jersey, positioning myself, waiting. And so, it takes time, guys. Like, a lot of people, and that's why the road to success is not crowded. And that's why I don't worry about Florida being overcrowded or anything overcrowded, because most people are not going to wait 2 years. Most people are not going to take certain steps. They're going to say, oh, I would love to do that. I'm thinking of doing that. I just started doing that. But you go talk to them a year later, and they're just going to be like, our brother Jacob, his friends at Wendy's. Even if you work at Wendy's, I guarantee you, if you start today and you work there for a year, 80% of people you start with won't finish. I remember I got a job with a corporation, and we did a week's worth of training. And my mentor was with me. We both had got jobs with the same company. And he turned to me, he said, Sam, he goes, I want you to look in this room. And it was like 15 guys. He goes, I want you to make a note of everyone in this room. He goes, and I want to have a conversation with you a year or 2 years from now and see how many people are still here. And sure enough, a year, 2 years later, me and him were, out of the 15 people, we were one of only 4 people left from that original 15. And in 1 year and 2 years, things change a lot. And most people will eliminate themselves. How do you get ahead in life? Just keep showing up. Most people will eliminate themselves. And that's why, like, a lot of times people think you have to cut people's throat to get ahead. You don't. All you have to do is show up and stay out of drama, because most people are going to cut their own throat. Because most people, they have a fat ass with their mind. Their mind is on a recliner. Okay? And when you show up every day and when you stay out of drama, you have a mind that's sharp. Okay? And that's focused, and that's good. All right, let's continue to read. Thank you again. All right, Jalen. I'm ready to hit the road. Okay. I'm going to finish up this house, and goodbye, Utah. I'm not mad at that. Shout out to the Utah Jazz. I wonder if I changed my mind too quick. Well, you didn't change your mind too quick, in my opinion, if you did this. If you downsize first, and when you downsize, you're not changing your living situation. You're not changing your job. You're simply getting rid of expenses. Stuff and expenses. So if you do that, you're not doing anything bad, because all you're doing is cutting your expenses. That's a win. Next is you look at your job situation, and you look at, how you can either keep it or what you can do in a different state. And then you look at your housing. what can you do to either be in a transitional period or whatever. So if you did it in steps, downsizing, keeping a job, and then changing your housing situation, then you've done it in the proper order. At least that's my actual experience. But if you have a different way, there's different ways to do things, guys. But I would say, look, if that's the case, you did things right. Now, look, will you always do things 100% right? No. Look, life is a little bit of trial and error. But I think if you keep the structure of as long as you continue to have income coming in, however you're going to have it, as long as you have lower expenses, that means you're living below your means, then keep your commitments low, because even if you made a mistake, you can always change again. I often say the number one asset of living simple, whether it's a nomad or just below your means, is your flexibility. Your flexibility allows you to make mistakes and not totally be in a catastrophe mode, because you have more options. So even if you make a mistake, you can correct it. You got more room of a buffer. Someone living like 80% of society living paycheck to paycheck, they don't have any room. They don't have any flexibility. So if one bad thing happens, they're behind the eight ball. So again, use your asset. What's your asset? Your asset's your flexibility. And so as long as you use that, you can adapt as you go. Deb, hey Deb, good to see you. Thank you for the comment, Deb. I appreciate that. Let's take a hydration break for Deb. And for my brother Jacob with the super chat. Thank you, brother. Again, guys, at the least, I appreciate you clicking the thumbs up button. Sharing the video means something to me. Journey with Jordan. I'll be in the hotel one more night. I'm not mad at you. Turn the porn up. My back has mostly healed. Good job. I would probably be fine to get back to Dave Ramsey's parking lot tonight. I'm not mad at that. But I got a better deal by booking consecutive nights. Well, I'm not mad at that. What do you have? You have flexibility. Flexibility is your number one asset. Use it. Don't abuse it. I'm tough. I was talking to this woman whose goal in life was to leave Florida. I've met people like that. I don't know why, but everyone's different, and I'm not mad at them. Because what happens when you leave Florida? More room for Sammy. Okay? Am I worried about Florida being overcrowded? No, because people leave it. And guess what I do? I stay right here, and I approve Marin's comment that has a lot of emojis of magical Florida stuff. Palm trees, hearts, everything. Guy running, guy walking, hydration break. Florida, Marin's in Southwest Florida. She living a dream over there. She in Sentinel Island. Marin, are you the multi-millionaire that's selling that $17 million mansion? They're in their 80s thinking about downsizing. I said it was too old. But hey, if you got $18 million, you're not. Are you too old? Yeah, you are too old, because you still have to have a level of energy to do something, and energy, even when you have a lot of money, doesn't allow you, you got low energy, you can't do anything. I'm tough. I was to leave Florida. What did this? Well, nah, that's okay. You make it to the promised land. You want to leave? No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, everyone has a different journey, and everyone has a different way to look at life. So I'm not gonna say disgraceful. I know you're just kidding. I love you, man. Good to see you, Empath. Everyone has a different journey, and look, the heat is definitely oppressive in Florida during the summer. And many people, like I thought about that today. I said, who wouldn't do good in Florida? If you have like real pale skin, like look, I have white skin. It's not pale, but if you have real pale skin, like there's some people that have like a certain pigment of skin, like the sun is really unhealthy for them. And I've seen people even down here like that. They have to fully like drape themselves in clothes. So if you have like that type of skin, if you have like a certain pigment, and if you have like maybe breathing problems, so there's certain people that have certain physical characteristics that I think it wouldn't be healthy for them. So it is a matter of like everyone has a different way to look at life and different circumstances. For me though, more Florida for me. Buck, what's up, man? South Florida, good to see you, Buck. Thank you, man. Finally catch you live. What's up, man? It's good to have you. It's always good to have good people. When you see a good person, you feel good. And when you see a bad person, I block. Why? Because I never felt good about them. You always kind of know someone right off the door, how their energy is, how their vibe is. And when someone's like on some snake stuff, there's no debate in that, man. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even want to debate you. I don't want to know you. I don't want to hurt you. But I don't like that snake stuff. And that's good for me. Good to see you, Buck. You're a good guy. Jacob. I gotta go, Sam. All right, good to have you. You have a good night. You too, brother. Love and respect. Thank you again, Jacob. You stay positive. Keep doing your thing, man. Thank you. Brandon, listening from Tennessee. Shout out to Tennessee. Close to Jordan. You guys are both by Dave Ramsey's parking lot? Good to see you, man. Enjoying everything you're putting out while I'm editing photos. Amen. Use your creativity. And he goes, putting photos out to sell off 85% of my crap. Good. And then whatever you can't, throw it out. I'm prepped for moving into a vehicle. There you go, Brandon. Keep doing your thing. I read your comment today earlier. Thank you for the love. Keep pushing forward. You can do it. Thank you for listing one thing you did today to push you closer to your dream. Journey with Jordan. but I definitely agree a king size bed and my own bathroom is too comfortable. Hoping the transition isn't too hard. Wise words of wisdom, Sam. Yeah, anything in life that you want to keep doing, you have to use it, And so, like, if you're living mobile, you don't want to live static too long because, like, if you don't use it, you lose it. It's like any muscle. If you don't work out with it on a daily basis or at least a weekly basis, you lose that muscle's capacity. So it's like the same thing, like the mindset, the physical endurance, the adaptation, the awareness of this lifestyle, that if you're not constantly on the go, traveling, moving in the street, even if it's somewhat in the same area, you lose an edge. And it's like, if you're not doing batting practice, when you go up to the plate, you're just like off balance. And so everyone has like certain like memory muscles, they call them, like, but you also have to have certain actual life action experience. And if you're not doing that, it makes life harder. Snow Dog, good to see you, man. You're also a positive person. I appreciate you, man. Hey, Sam, do you have a fast? Do you have to fast to lose weight? I didn't. I was part of a church. They all used to preach fasting. They always used to quote the scriptures that some things never happen through fasting and prayer. And what I could tell you is the pastors committed adultery. I think there was scamming going on with the money. They were good people. They taught me some things, but I never fasted. I lost 200 pounds. I never cheated on my wife. I never did some disgraceful things that they did fasting. So what I can tell you is you don't need to fast. Pray, yes. Fasting does have some benefits, but all you need to do is stop eating out. Then after that, switch to whole grains, not white rice, brown rice, not regular bread, whole grain bread. And then you got to eliminate or limit meat and dairy. If you do those three things, stop eating out, switch to whole grains, and avoid meat and dairy. If you do those three pillars, then you'll be fine. Fasting, intermittent fasting, keto diet, all that shit, that's for people who have a fat ass in their mind. The keto diet was basically same thing as Jenny Craig, same thing as Weight Watchers. It's Oprah buying stock in a publicly traded company just to prey on the people who have a fat ass. Not literally, even though it is literally their mind. Now look, I still got a wide ass. But what I could tell you is I lost 200 pounds and I maintained it off. Oprah didn't do that, okay? And so I can speak on Oprah and I can speak on Weight Watchers. And what I could tell you is my mom struggled with weight her whole life. She did slim fast, Weight Watchers, all that shit. My aunt died from obesity. And what I could tell you guys is, look, stop eating out. Switch to whole grains and eliminate the meat and dairy, okay? If not, good luck with that. Love to you, Snow Dog. Journey with Jordan. Brandon, for the record, I've never been in Dave Ramsey's parking lot. You don't try to lie now because you know Dave Ramsey coming to get you. That's my store anyways. Good to laugh. Grateful Days, good to have you, brother. You're another positive person. Hey now, love the channel, brother. Well, I love you too, and I respect you, and I appreciate you. I love anyone that's grateful because it shows me I have the right mindset. Brandon, Journey with Jordan. East Nashville, don't give them the address. Here and moving in 2 weeks. There you go. Cameron, get a fleshlight. Yeah, I totally agree. Don't even do that. Just use your hand, guys. Why waste the money? Downsize. Downsize on the toy. You don't need a fleshlight. Come on, guys. Downsize in every way, man. Increase your revenue. Lower your expenses. Good job. Brian, my goal is to lose 60 pounds while living in my total Yaris. Well, you damn sure better if you live in a Yaris. But what I can tell you is this. Don't put a goal on your weight. When I lost 200 pounds, I had no goal on a specific weight. I think you should weigh yourself in the beginning just to have a metric, but it should be all about health, and it should be measured in going for walks every hour, not eating out, and eating a plant-based diet. If you measure it by weight, you're going to end up like Oprah. Who's Oprah now? Hopefully you end up like her financially, but chances are you're not. But what I could tell you is, look, don't worry about the weight. Worry about what you eat and how much you walk, period. The weight will automatically come off. Good job. Florida Yeti. Hey, Sam. Good to see you live. Well, good to have you, and I appreciate you. Grateful Days. For those that think RV life is cheap, don't come out here. Totally agree. Good job. With no money. I totally agree. Broke down. Grateful Days. Great comment. Look, guys, you always need income. So 100% agree. Good comment. Lauren. Wait, let me just check, guys, my live chat feed on my laptop, which sometimes someone says either a curse word or they put crazy emojis, and I have to approve it or deny it. So I don't want to miss anyone's comment. If your comment doesn't come up, just write it again. But I see I approved everyone I need to. All right, let's continue to read. Lauren, good to see you, Sam. It's good to see you too, Lauren. You stay positive. Snow Dog. Hey, Sam. I've been living in my car for a year. Seems like I will never break free the road without ditching friends and family. Well, I think the first step to downsizing is looking at your relationships. Your relationships are your number one cause of stress. Your money is number two. So if number two is money, then the first thing you got to eliminate is negative people, and people that don't support you, whether your father, your brother, your lover, whoever, period. And I think if you eliminate someone that's negative for you, even if you end up going back to a house or an apartment, it's still a win. And that's why I try to tell you guys, look, even if you change your mind, but if you do some core foundational things, which is separate from negative people, eat a healthy diet, live below your means, even if you go back and forth on what you want to live, how you want to live, RV, van, travel trailer, house, apartment, you've set yourself up for a greater, better life with less unhealthy people, less unhealthy food, and living below your means. So you have financial freedom. So if you do those things, guys, you can just figure it out as you go. Good job. Grateful days. But I have a maintenance fund. Good job. Very important, Sam. I totally agree. Look, guys, your number one financial goal should be to get a year's worth of saving in a savings account. And to start with the goal of $1,000. And then just say you want to have a savings account with at least $10,000 in there. I know it sounds extraordinarily high when you're totally destitute and totally broken in debt, which I've been. But what I could tell you is take baby steps. First step is, just like Dave Ramsey would say, get $1,000 in savings. And then I say, don't even pay off debt first. Get to a point where you have a year's worth of money savings account. And then, chip away at your debt and go from there. That's what I would say. Everyone should do what they want. Training with Jordan. You can do it at Snow Dog. I agree. Just like how you broke away from the all caps. Yeah. And Snow Dog recovered from a bad divorce. I could tell the heaviness is he's starting to heal. He lasted a winter living in his car in New Jersey. And he's a positive person because he keeps showing up in here and he keeps having an overall positive mindset. The all caps thing was just because he was backed up one night and he didn't masturbate in 2 days, so he's a little bit worked up. But I forgave him because why? Because I get like that myself sometimes. I love you, Snow Dog. I'm just playing. But the whole thing is like he continues to come in here and he's positive. So what do? I don't block him because I want positive people in my life. Marin, hey Marin, you got a new profile pic? And then she goes, hey, and just give a lot of palm trees. Tidal waves. I was fully submerged in the Atlantic Ocean today. I don't know why you would move to Florida and not be fully submerged in the ocean every day. Now most people won't because their energy levels are low. Like guys, you think it's easy to get to the beach and then fully submerge in it? It's not. It took me a lot of energy to do it, but guess what? I did it, and I'm glad I did because that's part of living in Florida. And then she gave a girl walking, good job. And then she give hydration break, good job. And then she give flowers. Florida, the name of Florida is originally El Florito, which means in Spanish, place of flower, something like that. So Florida is pretty much Spanish for the land of flower. There's flowers here all year round. Why? Because of the tropical environment that it is. What do they call New Jersey? Total disaster in Spanish and in Arabic. It's just total disaster. And so what I could tell you is you want to move to the land of Florida, not total disaster. All right, let's stay positive. And then she goes, live good, stay positive. I agree with that. Posted to my channel today. Good job. Keep uploading. To test myself. Well, test yourself. I saw a couple of your videos in the past when you uploaded with your dog, some baby talk with your dog, and then somebody was pregnant in a delivery room. I saw that. So I check people's channels out. So I see your clips. And what I could tell you is this. On average, you want to have your video more than 1 minute. You want to have 2 to 3 minutes. Sometimes I get close to 2 minutes, but you don't want to go really below 2 minutes on average. You want to have at least anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes. The average viewer on YouTube watches between 2 to 5 minutes of a video. Okay, there's exceptions, but that's the average. So your video wants to be anywhere between 2 to 5 minutes long. And then look, some people are very much into editing. Some people are into like just speaking in directly into their phone. But the main thing is, after you do that, set up a consistent schedule to upload. After you do that, use your phone to write down ideas. Like you'll be sitting there, watching free porn. You come up with an idea, write it in your phone for later on when you have the opportunity to make a video. You're sitting there, you're at work, write the idea for the video in your phone. So later on, when you have the ability, you can make the video about it. Because having topics on a consistent basis is a major challenge, and the way you alleviate that challenge is creativity comes in waves. So when you have a wave of creativity, you may not be in the environment where you can make a video right away, but there's an insecure guy with a loud motorcycle just passing. When you have a creative wave you want to write down your thoughts so that later on you can jump back on that wave and then make a video about it. Good job. And then grateful days. You must be some sort of pepper out here. I'm not sure what that means. Marin's laughing. Good job. Jenny with Jordan. That means yes, Marin. All right. M Top Marin ain't 80. She's 70. I know, but she damn close. So I want to give her encouragement that I want to look. I don't care if you're 7 or 17. I don't care if you're 70 or 17. You're never going to be younger than you were today. So if you're never going to be younger than you were today, what did you do today to push you forward? Because tomorrow you're older, and then the next day you're older, and then your energy gets lower and lower. And before you know it, I've seen people on their deathbed, literally. And I spent a lot of time with the elderly. And what I could tell you is before you know it, guys, it's over. And as you get older, the energy's lower. So every day you remember this one thing, tattoo it on your forehead, that you will never be younger than you are today. Okay? So that means every day you get older. So that means every day you should be taking action on what you need to do to fulfill the things inside your spirit that inspire you. Because if you're not, we're going to write some generic tombstone that you were some sweet person, but really, we just can't wait to bury you, to liquidate your assets so we can live our dream off our inheritance. That's the truth of life, okay? And so what I tell you is I'd rather give you a dose of truth so you can push forward in your life rather than just wait for you to die so I can liquidate your assets on wholesale and go live my dream, okay? I'm already living my dream, guys. No need to play a game with you. Let's stay positive. I'm Top's laughing. Good job. Jordan. Could have been exaggerating. 16 million mansion being sold for 70 something. Hey, look, guys, that's the stats. Look up the article about the old couple on Sentinel Island. John, hey, John, thumbs up to you, brother. Don't go to New Jersey. Don't worry, brother. It's the land of the disaster. I'm in the land of the flower. There was a tornado warning. I heard. I talked to my mom. It's total disaster up there. Yeah. Some people stayed in Cleveland, Ohio. They stayed in Chicago. They stayed in New Jersey because they were scared of the Florida hurricanes. And guess what happened? They got a tornado, okay? Or they got Hurricane Sandy. And guess what I'm doing? I'm fully submersed in Atlantic Ocean in 92-degree weather Fahrenheit. There's mills everywhere. And you're sitting there in New Jersey waiting for your mother to pass away so you can liquidate her assets and possibly come down to Florida. But by then you're going to be too old. You're going to have no energy. No one's going to like you. You got bad attitude. And it's a total disgrace. So what I could tell you guys is let's stay positive. Good job, John. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm staying in Florida. Don't worry. Lauren, I was born and raised in Boca Raton. Yeah, I love Boca Raton. That's the land of the rat. But the climate isn't for me. Some people it isn't. More Boca Raton for me, though, because the humidity messes with my skin. Well, yeah, and your hair. Thank God it doesn't mess with mine. I left Florida. I'm not mad at you. More for me. More Florida for me. Yeah. Yes. Good job. Good job, Lauren. I love you. Marin, I'm not in bad health and focus on self-care. Well, good job. Good job, Marin. Very good job, guys. Let's take a hydration break. Free to be me. Peace, Sam. Well, peace to you also, brother. Good to see you. Peace. Free to be me. Marin, my channel where our post is going to be about recovery and health. Well, Marin, you survived cancer. And what I could tell you, I dated an Asian MILF that survived cancer for 5 years. She goes, Sam, after 5 years, your doctor tells you you're a survivor. What happened to her? She died after 7. Okay? So what I could tell you is you're never going to be younger than you are today. So you could be an official survivor of cancer after 5 years, but you can die tomorrow. I could die tomorrow, guys, but look, I'm going to be dying in Florida. You guys, if you're dying in New Jersey, get the hell out of there. Let's stay positive. I'm tough. Yeah, I saw your but Marin, keep sharing. I want to encourage you. I'm just sharing like my life. But Marin, I'm a big supporter. You've been a big supporter. You're a positive person. I want everyone to check you out. I want you to keep uploading. I want you to stay positive. I'm tough. Yeah, I saw your Instagram, Marin. Good job, M Tough. Little fiery one. How do you prepare for your videos? At this point, it's kind of like I write down at different times of the day when I have a creative wave what I want to talk about. And then I just have a rough outline in my mind of what I like. This is part of my gift. Like when I used to be a youth leader, I would go in front of like the church and I would just like have a rough idea of what I wanted to talk about, and then I just freestyle. And the pastors used to get mad at me because they say, Sam, you're not sticking to the script. You're kind of saying whatever you want. I said, yeah, that's how I get down. And eventually that came to a head. And eventually I said, look, this is their game. This is their church. I can't dictate to them what I want to say. And they're going to leave their church to their kids. And just like, like whatever company you're working for, whatever church they're going to leave their church and their business to their kids, and they should. That's their thing. And that's why I left the church, okay? Because I didn't agree with everything and I wanted to be my own creative self. And so, but I stayed in there for 10 years. I played the game and I learned something, and there's a time to be a follower, time to be a leader. But what I can tell you is how my brain has always worked. I refine it as I go. Is I have a rough idea what I want to say, and then I just kind of freestyle it with bullet points in my mind. And that's how I get down. And some people don't. Some people are very methodical. They stick to the script. And then some people commit adultery on their wife, and then they give a sermon about not, watching porn, and about tithing. So what I can tell you is, screw you, man. I talk about whatever I want, and I got no one to answer to. Why? Because this is my channel. And what I can tell you is that's how I get down. Good job. Do you make a plan? I just make a plan to upload videos daily, and then I just kind of go whatever's going on in my life, and whatever I'm thinking about, I write down. I go from there. Good question, Lauren. Have you driven on Glades Road in Boca? Overcrowding? Nothing's overcrowded in Florida, but I know you're smiling at me. And let me tell you something. There's room everywhere for everyone. Cameron, laughing. Good job. Lauren, Oprah is the ultimate pander. I totally agree. Yeah, I agree with you. Totally agree. Cameron, thank you, Sam. Thank you. Desert, Jimmy Swagger was an evangelist. Yeah, he got caught with a prostitute too. He preached sin-free life, and then got caught. I totally agree. Yeah, look, I've seen that, and it's very much a disgrace. Warren, sacrifice. Snow Dog's laughing with Journey Jordan. Good job. Journey with Jordan. Snow Dog, real talk. If you made it as a nomad through New Jersey winter, you've got what it takes. I agree. Anything emotionally, physically, spiritually, good luck to you. I totally agree. Look, sometimes, when you're in a low point, and you get through something, you realize, that you have, you have what it takes. And mainly what it takes is an intensity, a positive outlook, the right people around you, and just taking life one day at a time. Grateful days. Typically, Philly guys and New Jersey do not mix. Yeah. But I dig it. Well, thank you. I appreciate your honesty. Thank you. And I appreciate, well, yeah, I spent a lot of time in Philly too. And everyone in South Jersey kind of associates themselves with Philly. People in North and Central Jersey kind of associate themselves with New York. So, like, kind of in between the state is like a divide. James, hey James, good to see you, man. Thank you. Grateful days, hey guys. Snow Dog, thanks. Journey with Jordan. Self-care is a lot of work, but it is self on top of working and trying to transition to a new life. I need this therapy, Sam. Thank you. So I can keep moving forward. Yeah, look, when you're totally lost in life, just keep moving forward. Remember, if you stay down, the world will keep kicking you. So just keep moving forward, one day at a time. Go for a walk, stay positive. Snow Dog. Tornado warning was called a couple times over the last week. It's a disaster. Gina, time is flying. It's scary. I'm going to be 34, he says, in June 8th. I remember I had a dream when I was a little boy, and in that dream, I was an old person. I woke up with a big relief. Soon it be reality. I was always told like I had an old soul, and I kind of digged it because I didn't like being young. I kind of always and I like getting older. Now, you don't want to get too old. I think once you get past, once you get into your 60s and 70s, your body starts to feel it. I feel it at 40. So, people can say what they want, but I spend a lot of time with the elderly, and what I could tell you is you don't want to lose your independence when you get older, and you have physical limitations. That's the reality of it, and there's no way around it, no matter how good you take care of yourself. Merritt, Jesus fasted 40 days, 40 nights. Yeah, he also drank alcohol and hung out with prostitutes. I agree. Mr. JD, hello to you. Cameron, have you used an escort before? Back in the day, I didn't use one, but back in the day, we had prostitutes when we were down in Miami Beach, and I had some friends up north. We would hang out with strippers, and some were prostitutes on the side too. But I would never all right, I'm gonna call escort from the yellow pages. Some people I just knew. So I dated some strippers, and strippers and that world, it's kind of intermingled. So I definitely had experience with it, and I don't look down upon it. Not my thing, because I always try to avoid drama. But there was a season of my life where I was kind of involved in that scene. Marin, palm trees, hearts, not disagreeing, just thought. Marin, you are free to be your free creative self. You don't need to change yourself, because I know who you are. You're a positive person. You're positive. I seen you on some lady's channel. I don't know, it's My Life Now. Some lady who lives in her car in New Jersey. She's not going to live in her car in New Jersey anymore. Why? Because after a year, she had enough. And she doesn't want to say what she spends per month. I don't know if she has a job, but I saw Marin left a very, very positive comment. But what I can tell you is after a year, she had enough. She's not taking care of herself physically, financially, and any other way. And it don't matter if you live in a house, apartment, or a thing. Now, if you're not mentally strong, you're better off in an apartment. Why? Because it's more stability. You have to be very mentally strong to stay on the road long term, because you have to structure your day, you have to structure your life even more so. When you're in an apartment or house, you can still be a disaster, but you have a lot more structure pre-selected for you. So part of the nomad life is you're very free, but in life, you have to have some structure. So you have to be self-disciplined to put that structure in, to wake up, to be productive, to do what you need to do. And some people aren't. Most people aren't. They need certain pre-selected options so that they don't like just totally go into anxiety mode. So that's why this lifestyle is not for many people. Uh, Lauren says, stay positive, Snow Dog. I agree. Snow Dog's a positive person. Journey with Jordan at Marin. Yes, Jesus also said some demons can only be driven out through fasting. Yeah, look, also, the people who wrote the Bible denied Jesus. The Bible was written years after Jesus died, and it was put together by all men under pressure by the Roman Empire. The Bible also said women shouldn't speak in church. It also said slaves should obey their slave master. And Jesus also said you should gouge out your eye if it causes you to sin. So look, there's a lot of things in there that said that I don't believe in. And Jesus said that you are supposed to do greater things than him. So just because it's said in the Bible doesn't mean I 100% agree with it. And if you do, chances are you're going to commit adultery, you're going to lead people astray, you're going to marry people that get divorced, they're going to get remarried, and it's all a religious game. I think for myself, God lives inside me. Jesus' whole purpose was you don't need an interpreter. You don't need an interpreter. I don't need an interpreter, guys, okay? There's some good things in the Bible, but I don't need to masturbate to it, okay? And what I could tell you is I think for myself, okay? And that's loving God. I treat people right, do what I can, but I cut people off too. And what I could tell you is this, okay? You gotta build your life away from dogma. The scriptures, whatever religious writings can structure or guide your life, that's fine. But you have to have the ability to think for yourself, to be an individual, and to have your own spiritual guidance through a connection with God inside you. If you don't, you're going to be a religious fanatic. And you're not going to be happy with life. You're not going to push forward. You're not going to grow. I've seen those people. They stay stuck in one religious mindset their whole life. And I almost got there, but I had to break loose, and I'm glad I did. And I see the people who stayed there, their life's a total disaster. Just like everyone who stayed in New Jersey. Total tornado warning. Let's stay positive. Desert Ghost, age brings wisdom. Not all the time. I wrote a self-published book called Age Doesn't Determine Wisdom. I know a lot of old people, total disaster. James? Sam, religion is overrated. I totally agree. 100% emoji to you. To those who believe deeply in them, it's just an opinion, baby. No, I totally agree. I think the scriptures and different things can provide guidance. It helped me. I think you should go on a spiritual journey. But I think religion itself is used to control the masses by people, period. And I think, again, it's good, but I think it can go south if you don't think for yourself. Marin, Jordan, you know more than me. Thanks, Marin. My videos today are short. Thanks for the tip. I love you. Stay forward. Snow Dog, absolutely, Sam. You have to be strong to stay in your vehicle. I totally agree, guys. My wife now said she's given up, and she does not look healthy to me living in her car. And just worry about yourself, guys, because let me tell you something. You try to worry about your wife, and you know what happened? She got a divorce. When you try to help someone else more than they're helping themselves, they end up miserable, and you end up just as miserable as them. Misery loves company. So you can only help your child so much. You can only help your lover so much. You can only help people so much. You got to focus on yourself. I met a girl when I first started this journey in Florida, I think in Sebastian or Vero Beach, and she was in an unhealthy relationship. Okay, she could barely speak English. I don't know if she married some guy just to get into the country, and then he totally abused her. And what I could tell you is this. She kept telling me her dream was to bake for the homeless people. I said, don't worry about baking for homeless people. Worry about getting out of an unhealthy relationship. But she used that excuse to sit on her fat ass mentally to try to divert from what she needed to do for her life. And that's what most people do. They volunteer for stuff, but they need to volunteer for their own life. Don't volunteer for anything, guys, if your life's a disaster. Because let me tell you something. I'm around homeless people more than you. And what I can tell you is they don't need your greasy soup. They don't need your nasty bakery. What you need to do is get your life together. That's how you make the world a better place. There's plenty of other resources out here in the street, guys. Come on, guys. Marin, a lot of heart emojis. Good job, and Pontius. Let's take a hydration break. Good job, Marin. A little fiery one. Welcome to the church of Sam. Well, welcome to the church of yourself. Because even I am not perfect. Good job. Snow Dog. That's what Jesus said too. When someone said, Jesus, you're good, he said, who's really good? Only God's good. Okay? So Jesus said, basically, look, you can't solely go by me. He said he wasn't good. Okay? So but everyone takes him, gotta always be like him. Come on, guys. Hey, these people don't read the scriptures. They don't think for themselves. They got a fat ass on their mind. So, dog, thanks, Lauren. I will. James, I'm happy Sam agreed with me. Yeah, because I can get fiery on this religious thing. Super smart, you baby. Well, I love you, but I'm not going to say I agree with you on everything. Why? Because I don't pander. I'm not Oprah. Desert, another great talk. Well, brother, it's great to have you, man. When I was depressed for some years, I was old. I hear you. I love you. Stay positive. Marin, hydration breaks. Thank you. On that note, guys, let's end on a positive note, because one thing I also learned from church is once you get the message across, get the hell out of there. Don't stretch the message out. I love you. I appreciate everyone who clicks the thumbs up button. I thank Jacob again for the super chat. I want you to remember that you'll never be younger than you are today, and Florida is not overcrowded. Why is Florida not overcrowded? Because the road to success is less traveled. The extra mile is less traveled. There is enough success, there is enough everything for those who are willing to go out there and get it. But those who aren't, they have a fat ass mentally, and they will always be in the same place. Their location-wise, their health-wise, their relationship-wise, it's not going to be overcrowded because most people will not do what they need to do to improve their life. Don't be one of those people. God bless.